so I'm here. All right. Let's see here. Should be good to go. Just doing a quick audio check. Should be okay. Looks like it. Yep. Awesome. Nice. All right. If you're there, Tanis, hey, welcome. Um, okay, so a couple things. Let me expand this out so you can get a really good view of what my mod organizer 2 looks like. So you can kind of ignore all of this. This is my my legacy build. Um, Everything you see in green here, these are the Lotus separators. You could kind of think of these as the logical load order, but for PC. It's a little bit different. Um, I will go to Nexus to show you. You could get these, and you actually have your choice of 3 different ones. I just chose the first option. It was pretty basic, pretty simple. Just type in Lotus. It's going to be this one here, MO separators. These will also go into, these are manual downloads. They'll go right into your mods folder. To show you, because I'm only using a C drive myself, just one SSD. When I click on this, now I made a folder called Mod Tools. These are going to be anything that you might need to use in this pane here. SKSE is going to generate the first time you run it, which is why I have a second instance of it. You could ignore the 64, it's the same thing. But SSE edit and quick auto clean. This is how you're going to clean your master files. These two. For the majority of it, you're just going to use the quick auto clean, and it's pretty simple. You're going to let quick auto clean do all the work for you, except for DawnGuard. DawnGuard requires a second step, which is manual edits, which is what this is Xedit itself, SSE edit. So like you, I have my 1C drive in mod tools, but where I have mine's in users, me, app data, local, and then my mod organizer 2 folder is actually right here. And then the mods folder within inside of that houses all of the mods. The first ones being, these are all the separators here. And of course anything that has a number. It goes in numerical and then alphabetical order. So you'll see separators, and then occasionally you'll see something like 4K Hagraven House, but you can pretty much ignore that. And then you'll see all my mod files here listed, going alphabetically. Even uh, the EMB stuff, EMB Lite, EMB Helper, all your SKSE plugins, Finis itself, For's new idol in Skyrim. Where is it? For's new idol, FNIS, and then PCEA2 for the animations extender for the combat, other things like that. Now this folder here is going to be different than your game directory, which I think you know about already. Let me just separate these. I'll minimize this to make it look a little bit easier. Alright, so this is my mods folder, and then this is my Steam Apps Common, Skyrim Special Edition. And then these are where your SKSE files are going to be located. Not at the data folder. The data folder is here. You're going to always want to keep this data folder clean. The exception being any tweaks, which you don't have to worry about yet, and when you decide to work in the creation kit. Basically, since we're using Mod Organizer 2, if I want to update, say, um, Pretty Lantern Replacer, okay, I'm actually using that now. There I should be. Okay. Um, since this doesn't have an ESP, you'd have to create one yourself, but you'd literally just take these files, put them in here, and you can see they populate. But we're not gonna get into that yet. So um, you're always gonna want to keep the data folder as clean as possible. You don't want anything in here except for the base game stuff. So SKSE, you're gonna see 5 files down here. We could actually probably start with SKSE. Um, it's on skse.silverlock.org, that link that I gave you. The second one down is going to say the current SE build 2.0.17, and it's for runtime, so this is your game version. This is the 7-zip archive. All you do is just click on it. It's going to manually download here. I'm going to minimize these just to show you what it does. So every time you manually download an archive on Windows 10, you're going to have it populate here, meaning you could literally drag it right to your desktop, which is really handy because this archive actually stays there. If you mess up doing something with this, like let's say I say I accidentally delete it and it's gone, you think I'll have to download it again. No, you don't have to. You could literally throw that one up. And you should have 7-zip on your computer. Always extract this. This is how I always do it. Manual downloads and zipped up archives that show in that format, I always extract to the name of the mod. In this case, SKSE64. And over here in the very lower left, it's always going to put your folder there. So this will be the files that you're going to need. It does it really quickly. And it'll pull you up a window like this. Now, in this case, hold on to this SKSE archive because we are going to come back to that. That's going to be the second step. Pull up your Skyrim game folder. Ooh, I pulled up the wrong one. Mods. Okay. I always put mine to the right-hand side. And then the SKSE folder you just extracted, this file here, it's going to have another folder here with the current version. That's what that means, that it's supposed to be 2.0.17, but it's underscored, obviously, for the file path. Just open that up. You're going to see data, the source folder, and then you're going to see the 5 files that start with SKSE64. You only need 3 of them, but I like to grab all 5 just because it's just me. The README text and the what's new text you don't need, but you do need the 1.5.97 DLL loader, the loader exe, which is actually how you're going to run the game from now on through MO2, and then the Steam loader DLL. So these 3, and I don't want to copy them, delete them. But what I like to do is just highlight all 5, and then you literally just drag them into your game, not the data, but yours isn't going to look like mine. You're going to have less files in here. Like in my case, I have EMB files here. My EMB series, Mopey, which is Rybash. You'll see Papyrus stuff. You'll see, a bunch of other stuff you may or may not recognize, and that's okay. Hey, Sonar, what's going on? Just some MO2 stuff. So what I like to do is I'll take all 5 of these. You just copy and paste them over like this. Now yours is just going to put in there. Mine's going to show up saying 5 files with the same names. I could technically replace this and I'd be fine. But since I already have them installed, I'm just going to cancel this out. Um, you're basically going to be left with the data and source. After that, you're done. Um, you can close this. Keep this up though. Keep that up. You're gonna want to keep. And it's also my headset shutting off on me randomly. So bring back up your MO2. Up top here, this is where it says install a new mod from an archive. This is why I work off the desktop. So remember this SKSE. Now this is the unzipped archive, but remember it still has the data and the source, which are your scripting, your scripts. That's what you need. You're going to click on this and you're going to point this at your desktop. So it would be like this PC. In my case, just point it right here at the desktop. So anything you have on your desktop, see it's right there, SKSC 64. That number 2 means I've done it another time already. So don't worry about that 2. Yours won't say that. You literally just click that, and it's just like you're installing a mod manually. You'd hit open, and it's going to bring up your install mods. You're going to see this. You're going to see this quite a lot. No game data on top level. I think, Pred Caliber went over this in his guide. He's going to be doing that a lot if you're watching his guide fully. It's important. This has to say looks good. And what this means is you have to actually physically set the data directory. So MO2 knows where the data is coming from, and it's always going to be the first box that says data. That's an actual box. It's not going to be this one up top. So you're going to have to expand some of these sometimes. So it's going to look like this. Just expand it once. You can expand this again to see what's in here. This is all your scripts for SKSE, your source. If you want to expand this further just to see what's in there, you're probably not going to be able to identify a lot of this stuff. I still don't. I tend to let the SKSE team itself worry about it. But what you're going to do is you're going to right click on this line and you're going to set the data directory. You've probably seen him do it a couple times. And then it says looks good. And once it looks good, you can go ahead and hit OK to install. It says I already have mine installed up top here. So I'm going to cancel this out. SKSE, and since I use the separators, SKSE actually goes above my core mods. It's the first thing that should be loaded underneath your 3 main, Hearthfires, Dragonborn, and Dawnguard. And I also renamed this to the SKSE64 scripts because if I open this in Explorer, there's my scripts, and then you can see everything that's in the scripts folder, and then if you open the source folder again, this was everything that we were looking at before. So you don't really have to worry about that. You're wanting to install the mod itself. So I'm going to cancel this out. The next thing you're going to need to do is you're going to have to actually direct SKSE to run as an executable. You're going to need this. Let me see here. The SKSE64 loader exe is what this is here. How do we get that? The configure executables icon, or if you click on this with the latest version, 2.2.2.1 of MO2, it says it up here. As long as you have this, you'll see a tiny little arrow. It may be hard for you to see, but if you click on this, you could actually add it from a file, and you can direct this to where you have the SKSE 64 loader at, or you could add it empty and do it manually if you like. What we used to have before this version was we had to do it manually. So it'll say new executable. You would name it SKSE. You could name it SKSE 64, whatever you like. But since you're doing it manually, you also have to set its location, its binary. In this case, common. Mine's going to be my Skyrim game folder. So you see the SKSE 64 loader. At this point, I would hit open, and it would generate the binary there. If you wanted to use the manage or edit, I'm sorry, edit, you could do it this way too. It's the same thing. It's your modify executables. It's also how you're going to install SSE edit and quick auto clean. These you're also going to, what I recommend you really do, probably first thing, um, make a mods tools, or you can name it whatever you like, but you're going to want one folder that houses all of the executable tools and or assets that you're going to be using. So in my case, it would be something like Assets Optimizer is CAO, or Cathedral Assets Optimizer. You would just plop it right in here, and then you're always going to want the executable. It's going to have a nice little icon to show you, but it's always going to be the exe right there. If yours doesn't say exe, you're going to want to stay in the screen, but go to View, and you're going to want to check Hidden Items and the file name extensions. The name extensions are what's going to show you. If I deselect this, see the exe is gone. You might not know what that is, but if I select the file name extensions, that'll pull that back and it'll tell me that's the executable and that's the one that I want. Um, the Lotus separators are really handy. Let's go back to this real quick. On Nexus, you could browse the images here. Like I said, I chose option 1. It says separators variant 1, so this will be the first file. Most of the time, the mods in Nexus are very, very detailed, and they'll tell you, even something like this that's considered a tool, consider this your load order, or consider this more of a general guide. You can change certain things around and it's okay, but there are going to be certain things that are going to need to go in certain places. Mod Organizer 2 operates a little bit differently than pretty much anything else. Your left pane here, this entire thing here, is not your load order. Your right pane is. These are the masters, ESMs, and you'll notice there's a couple ESM flagged ESPs, or vice versa. I forget the way they put it. Like the unofficial patch is actually an ESP, but it's a master file. It's flagged as a master. Same with the rest of them. Legacy is going to be a master for you. It's going to have an actual ESM. Things like Apache Hair, JSwords for me, that's a master file. They'll all they won't auto populate to the top, but once they're up there, you can't move them. If I wanted to, same thing like Xbox, if I wanted to move JSwords down in my load order, I can't now. If you install it somewhere down here though, it won't move itself. You'd have to physically move it, and you just put it nice in order, just like you were doing a console setup. But your right pane here, this is your load order. This is the important one. The nice thing about the separators is that it gives you the categories. So it starts you off with core mods. Let's go back to this. It starts you off with the core mods, then your user interface, loading screen. You could read them one by one. You're going to have to break the habit of trying to do a straight LLO for Xbox or PS4 versus this. This isn't even set in stone. This will never be set in stone. This is just a general guide. If you need to make categories, you can. If you don't want to use the separators, you don't have to. Just an option. Most of us use them. Master Zero uses them. I use them. Rooster uses them. Mr. B uses them. They're extremely handy, and you can color code them. They don't come colored. It's basically black and white when you first set them. But once you have them in, if I say I click on this number 2 user interface and I right click and I want to select a color, and you could basically make a nice custom color for you. You can, move this all around until you find a nice one that you like. Lighter colors work better. It's easier to see, or something that actually contrasts the black text. But again, that's totally up to you, totally, you know, personal preference. I use them. Um, they're infinitely handy, and they highlight the lines. You're also going to see the priorities here. So for instance, if I click, all right, sorry, that's my headset again. So if I click on the unofficial patch here in the left pane, it's going to highlight purple in the right pane. The nice thing about this is if you're down further and I highlight that again, you see this nice little purple line. So when you're working further down, you know that the mod you highlighted, if you need to move something up and down in the left pane, that's exactly where it is in the right pane. And then you just scroll back up to find it. The same thing would be is if I was using, let's see, let me go down a little further, Harvest Overhaul. Okay. Now I clicked on it, but it doesn't show up, but you do see the purple icons. And then there it is. And then there's a patch that is there for it too. But so I definitely suggest the Lotus separators. We should have them pinned in PC. If not, this is variant 2. It kind of centralizes them with the numbers, and it makes the text a little bit smaller. But your mods will also still be in paragraph form to the left. So it's really personal preference. Separators variant 3. It's a little smaller and neater text, but I find this one hard to read. Could just be me and my age and my bad sight. Hey Gina, welcome. Ah, you're just listening to him. He was playing good music before though, I heard. Yeah, but like I said, my pick is yeah, see how that does it here? And they would go right into the mods folder in your app data, just like you saw mine. But definitely as soon as you click on your C drive here, make a mods tool folder. Um, all right, SSE edit, Elminster. You're gonna definitely want to look. It has to say Elminster AU. He is the creator of SSE edit. It is one file. You need 7-zip for unpacking. This is very, very easy. It is a tool just like anything else. You're going to want to also, before I do anything further, you're going to want to get in the habit the first time you come to a mod page, before you read the description, always open the requirements tab. Offsite requirements or Nexus requirements means that this mod that you're using requires this mod. Mods requiring this file is pretty self-explanatory. If you wanted to use all geared up derivative, all good for X-edit scripts, you need SSE edit. You should have 7-zip already. WinRAR works well too, but 7-zip is free. You should have it. If you don't, grab it. It's a tool. Throw a little, where is it? I put my file manager here. I haven't had to touch it, but let's see here. So SSE, it's a manual download, same thing. I'm going to do this again just to show you. I already have mine downloaded, but let's get rid of the, we'll keep the SKSE up. So SSE edit. So in mod tools, I already have it. You'll see it here, SSE edit. It's going to come with a couple things. You're going to see the two EXEs that you need. The quick auto clean and Xedit itself. You're going to need both of these. So what you do is you just do the same thing. You extract to here, to the name of the mod. It's going to give you that folder. This folder's contents. Once you have that new mod tools you're going to create this name itself. You're going to right click in here, new folder, and then name it SSE edit. That's how you make them. Let me delete this. So mine is, let's see, right here. You'll take all these 7, you would paste them in here. Okay. Then you're done. You're essentially done. You have to have MO2 recognize them. So just like you're going to do with SKSE, you're going to need to do with both the quick auto clean and SSE edit itself. So you could either go to the configurables here or modify executables, click on this to add from the file, and then you would direct it at C mod tools, SSE edit. One left click, quick auto clean first. Once you hit open, you'll see it's already given the binary for it. And there it is right there. You'd hit apply and then OK. You would do the same thing with Xedit itself. Cleaning the masters is pretty straightforward. I'm going to give you a really nice link for this. Let's see. So the Northern Experience and the Nordic guides are essentially similar guides. Northern Experience is basically the Yash guide, but you'll come down, this is on the main page here in the description. You don't have to worry about the files yet. If you're just going to follow a guide, Pred Calibers is kind of the same way too. Let me link this for you. Oop, I don't want to paste it. Crap. That's my YouTube channel, son of a bitch. Okay, copy. And this is going to be in the PC mods here in Discord for you. Get rid of the new tab. Come under preparation. You can use different guides for different things. Some of them have nice tools. Basic tools, Bethany. Don't worry about Bethany just yet. You've already got Mod Organizer 2 installed. Cleaning your masters, so just click on this. This will literally walk you step by step. Step by step. You're going to start with the quick auto clean. It's going to tell you how to set it up as well. What you're going to do in MO2 is highlight this, make sure this is there. You're going to hit run. Okay. You're going to start with the update. You're going to expand these to show you, and just go step by step. How it's going to show you everything you need in here. It's going to give you text. It's going to give you what it's supposed to look like. It's going to tell you how to set it up. See these two? You're going to start. You're never going to clean Skyrim ESM, the main game itself. Leave that alone. Don't touch it with. Actually, I don't think you can touch it with the quick auto clean. Definitely do not modify it with SSE edit. You start with update. Update's real easy. Launch quick auto clean. You're going to select update here. You're going to see this little black box checked for Skyrim ESM because Skyrim is the master to the update. Once you do that, click OK. It's literally just going to clean itself. It's going to do everything here. Update takes the longest out of all of them. Nordic actually doesn't. Well, yeah, Nordic gives you the step by step. I can show you Nordic here. Shouldn't take too long here. If I could type. Nordic Skyrim. Nordic's actually the one I follow all the time. I use the Yashed or Northern for some things. Usually a mod reference. If it has a nice mod that I want and the Nordic guide doesn't have it, I'll go there and use it. You know, go to the mod page and download it, and vice versa. But if you go to Nordic, should be in preparation here. Yep, and then cleaning the masters. It does the same thing. Your setup. It's literally the identical. So if you're looking at this and you're thinking that it's Greek, don't worry about it. Once you sit there, what I did my first time is I sat there and I just kind of stared at my screen. I went back, I closed this, I went back to here. I reread this a couple times because I hadn't done anything with the PC since I think it was like 2001 or 2002. Literally was the last time before last year when I built this one. So I like I said, I've been out of it for quite some time. So just refamiliarizing myself, you know. For you it might not be that like that. You might see something and immediately know. And so you're probably ahead of me at this point with stuff like that. But you're gonna start with the update. You're gonna launch quick auto clean through MO2. You're gonna select update. You'll see the black box because Skyrim is the master. Let it work. When you get to the bottom here, you see how like for him it took almost 9 minutes. I don't think yours is gonna take that long. It might not. Um, Usually it takes me around a minute on mine. Like I said, it differs, and it just differs on PC specs, power, uh, your hardware, etc. Um, then you're just gonna close Xedit. You're gonna get a little error. Well, it's not. It's not. It's a notification. It's gonna pop up in this little triangle here with the exclamation point, and that just tells you that you have something in your overwrite folder. Your overwrite folder is what you use to create mods or modify things. It's at the bottom here. Notice there's nothing in here. Mine's completely clean. Yours is going to have the SSE edit cache in here, which you can actually delete at the end. So you'll see this little icon pop up, and then there'll be a little red triangle here now instead of this being grayed out. I can't even select this. Dawnguard's different. You're going to do the same thing you did with update. You're going to quick auto clean Dawnguard first. Once it finishes, close it out. Before you do anything else, you're going to switch over to SSE Edit by itself. And I'm actually going to run this to show you here. Okay, it's going to look like this for you when you run it the first time. What's new? Just close this out. You don't need to worry about this. Everything you have loaded at this time is going to show up. Since you don't really have much loaded aside from uh, what is it? I think SKSE is probably not even, no, SKSE won't even show up. Just your plugins. So notice everything for me is already checked. Okay. You're going to need to right click and you're going to select none. Then you're going to manually select Dawnguard. And both Update and Skyrim are going to select themselves because they are both the masters of Dawnguard. Then you're going to hit OK. And I'm not going to hit OK because I've already cleaned it, but I am going to go back and show you where to go. And you see here I got the little notification here. Notifications to read if you hover over it. So if you click on it, it actually tells you there are files in your overwrite mod directory. It sometimes will say something different. It might say missing patches, missing masters. So if I open up overwrite, you'll see the SSE edit cache. And there's nothing in the folder, it's just blank. It's empty. I could delete that. The manual cleaning is actually pretty easy. It's going to seem intimidating to start. CLFX is the most flickering. Because Skyrim's engine can't handle it. You'll be able to handle it on PC though. I'm running ELFX on mine with TPOS2. Their flicker is gone. Nesbit redid the patch for it. He tidied up ELFX's end as well with his, so um okay. So this is for the manual cleaning. It's gonna look like this, and you're gonna probably look at it. Don't be overwhelmed. Make sure you have one of these guides handy, okay? So there are three things you need to remove from Dawnguard. You're going to be working in the cell window. So when you click on Dawnguard, it'll be right here. You'd expand cell. You're going to expand block 5. You're going to expand subblock 3. And this is going to be like a brown color instead of green. It's green now because this was cleaned. So you're going to left click here on this Rift and Ragged Flagon, and you're going to work under number 2, Dawnguard ESM. You're going to have this encounter zone. This is going to be like a brown colored too. You're going to right click there, where it says there, right? Right click, select remove. It's going to give you a warning. You're just going to click yes, just like I said, follow this step by step. You'll be okay. Okay. The next one is cell block 2, sub block 1. The CW guards templates, that's this one here. This was actually going to look green to begin with, but you are going to right click the record and remove it. You're going to do it right here. So it's going to look a little different, but that's okay. And then the third and final one is cell block 8 subblock 1. The entire subblock 1 can be removed. If you want to expand it to see what it is, it's a dummy subblock. You don't have to worry about it, but they do recommend removing it because it can cause problems. Once you're done with the manual cleaning, that's the hardest part. Everything else is auto clean. If you go to Hearthfire, auto clean. Same thing with Dragonborn, auto clean. Let me show you here. Quick auto clean. Quick auto clean, and once you're done with that, you are good. The masters are officially cleaned. You are going to have to delete the cache that's in here in overwrite. It's literally just selecting everything. You'll see delete option here. Get rid of it. And console does not have the option to clean that. Also why there are a lot of issues. Also why when you installed that unofficial patch, you saw it was only 179 megabytes, right? But when you download it for console, it's what, 421? Because of the text. Do you want to see? Here, I'll show you real quick. It's funny to see this. Unofficial Skyrim Special Edition patch. USSEP. I'm going to open up Bethesda Archive Extractor. This is a little tool that shows you what is in the mod. If you don't have it, get it. You will need it when working in the creation kit. You will need it for conversions. So these are the textures that are in Special Edition for PC. It's BSA'd up. We don't know what they are. If I plop this right here, bam. Instantly I can see every single texture Arthmore and his team put in. Peltz01.dds, NDDS, Stonewall, right? Armor, Blades armor, texture, Briarheart, male body Briarheart, Clutter, I mean, you have everything here, right? If you want to see the meshes, the patch BSA, these are the meshes. Opens it right up. And you get to see what is actually in the quote-unquote official version of the unofficial patch. Not everything that was added. There goes the headset again. I find it interesting though. You know, there are sound files here. Everything that was fixed voice, and even with the unofficial, the patch ESP, the voices here, everything that was done. Skyrim Master. I think the Wolf one was a big one. Let's see. I'm not sure which one that was added in. Maybe Hearthfire. It's in one of them. Yeah. So I'm not going to do anything with it, obviously, but you know, that's just how you check things that are in BSA format. Um, Once you have the masters cleaned, you're good to go. You're good to really start. SKS is going to be up there. Like I said, I highly recommend the core mods. If you were curious as to if we can take mods off BethesdaNet from console and see them on PC, it's doable. It's sometimes not easy, but it's doable. If I wanted to see, say, Divine Cities, I have the ability to. If I want to see what's in Dark Ages, I have the ability to. People that are way more knowledgeable than I am have probably already done this. It is doable. Microsoft doesn't make it easy to do it, but it is doable. So if that the elephant in the room as to what's in what ever comes up, it's been looked at. Let's just say it's been looked at. Edits to Whiterun from certain mods have been looked at. That's why I have a very hard time recommending certain mods. If you've noticed, I don't always recommend certain ones. Not to say that certain mod authors aren't skilled, but ethics and other things come into play. And that's kind of where I'd have to draw the line. If I haven't been, Sonar knows this too, if I haven't been vocal about this, I am very vocal about some of these things. Sonar knows. He'll definitely be able to to tell. I'm not sure who else is in stream. I see 4 and myself, but I won't harp on that too much. Just to say that it is doable to see. Um, Definitely recommend the separators. If you come further down, like you could see mine, um, you'll notice things here are a little bit different than what you would have been used to on console. Um, I split my main textures and meshes. These get loaded fairly high. A lot of these you'll recognize, a lot of them you won't. These little green rook icons mean they're Legendary Edition mods, but if they are textures only, you can probably use them. If they have meshes with them, the meshes need to be optimized in NIF Optimizer. And if you just save the ESP in the creation kit, it automatically saves it to Form 44 for you. Very handy. Like these Forgotten Vale ice textures. Um, I like them. I believe Pride Caliber uses them in his guide. They look fantastic. But they're a Legendary Edition mod. It's right here. This is what it looks like afterwards. And then there's the blend before vanilla. It's a noticeable difference, right? Um, This is the before. There's the after. And there's other things too. Like I said, I like this one. I've been using this one since I myself watched the Pred Caliber guide. Um, when I get to the Veil, it's been a long time since I've gotten to the Veil, but when I do, it's nice to see, and then you can get some amazing screenshots with all the mods you can put in. This is the before for the ice before you fight the dragons, and afterwards you can see the color changes, the texture itself changes. It just looks a lot cleaner. Um, Other mods like you'll notice some that you were used to just loading and like the set and forget is usually no longer true. I'm going to give you a really good example, one being Noble Skyrim. Um, if you decide to use it, Noble 2K by Shutter. Okay, there are 24 files here. Don't worry about that. You're going to see that, you're going to be like, holy hell. No, they're not individual. There are no requirements for this, but if you use better farmhouses 4K, you will need Noble first. So, like I said, always check requirements tab first. Then description box, self-explanatory. I'm not even going to harp on this. Um, if there's any other information, I mean, you could see what Nexus has to offer. I'm sure you've been checking it out for a while. You've been on Nexus before, Tanis. You know these things. Um, we'll go back to the files for this. FOMod installer. This used to be, but this is the update file. So if you're using SMIM, and I do recommend using the full version of SMIM, by the way. You're on PC, you run Brumbeck's full version, trust me, because that's where all the patches required. SMIM by Brumbeck. Another nice thing too is it says the preview file contains something but does not have. So if I click on this, it's either BS8 up or I can literally see every single file that's in Noble. I'm just going to scroll all the way to the bottom because there's a hell of a lot of shit in here. Sometimes they're in BSA format, in which case BAE comes in handy. This is the 2K pack. This is the performance version. You can see the 2K pack is 2.4 gig. The update patch, right? Patch is only needed if you have SMIM by Brumbeck. I recommend running Brumbeck's SMIM. I highly recommend it. If you're on PC, definitely use it. But you'll see here, overwrite all files when asked. So when you download this, you're going to download with Mod Manager. You're going to download the main file first, then your update file for SMIM if you're using it. These are the ones I recommend. This main file here, this main file here. If you're not using Noble, perfectly fine. John Rose's Skyland mods are all up here. Everything here. His landscape overhaul, if you haven't seen it yet, 1.1 gigabytes. He's also got his alternate mountains, his dirt roads, the verdant patch, his landscape mods, plus his old files. If you needed anything from the old files, they would be there. Massive mod, right? If you were to use something by Mysterious Dawn. Ooh, did I spell it wrong? Maybe I have the wrong one. All right. Can never pronounce their name. Fusher? Fusher? The 2020 textures. These are another good ones. FOMod. I don't actually know what it stands for, but let me see if I can find one real quick. What's on my list? Perfect one. Stunning statues. Actually, let me, I'll do Lean Wolves, because Lean Wolf's better shaped weapons is probably one that you're more familiar with. Let me just find it here. All right. Lean Wolf's better shaped, all-in-one installer. So this is what a foam mod is. If I go to reinstall this mod, this is a foam mod, so this will pop up. You'll have a nice window here. Let me just minimize this so it's not as frustrating. Now you can't close MO2, so you're going to have to kind of bear with me here. You have options here. Option 1, no great sword sheaths, dual sheath redux patch. So this is if you have the patch, and if you, sorry, headphones. So if you hover over it, it will tell you what it is. If you need it, check it. If you don't need it. Just go on to next. Option 2, you can install everything. This will be default, but if you want to see what the custom installation is, select custom and then go to next. Now you get to select literally all of the meshes, and it tells you iron sword, dagger, great sword with proper sheaths if you want them, and then the quivers are the same thing. Select them. You might just want the iron weapons, but you might not want the iron quiver. Um, this is basically everything. I tend to leave off Skyforge because I use the what is it? The Skyforge Weapons SSE, but this is a foam mod installer. This is what it does. So like what I would do is I would select everything I want. Silver swords, orcish weapons, elven weapons, the Nord hero weapons, not the runed, unless you have the runed mod. They don't have the better meshes. And yeah, what Stoner said, the 2020 textures are nice. Windhelm is especially nice. Yeah, basically, it is. Yep. You're gonna go until you either select everything you want or things you don't want. His guide will tell you, keening with refraction. It does look good. It's recommended for a reason. Same thing with all these. The Nord hero. That's just the first page. You know how we on console we just kind of downloaded Lean Wolves and went. Well, these are all the actual options that you get to pick from. It's a nice feature. Glass reflect with refraction, or glass refractive glass for transparency. Sometimes the pictures will change and you could see. Sometimes they don't. Or you could select none. Children with refraction. Right. Dawnbreaker, because I'm running E and B, I'll take the Elven Sheath E and B. That's, let me see, Dwarven. It's going to be this bottom one here. The Dwarven one actually looks pretty cool by itself, but I'd take the Elven E and B. And then, this is for Dawn Guard. Like I said, you're just going to have to read everything. And like I said, I picked green. Green for the quiver. And it'll show you, it'll have the little gemstone, will be whatever color. If you're running Gemling's jewelry, you could select the Gemling option here. If you don't, you just get the regular. The gemstones, the textures just aren't as nice. And Oriel's quiver. Stalrim will do it, refraction. And then that's basically it. When you go to install, see, mine's going to tell me to merge, replace, rename, or cancel. Yours is just going to install itself. So I'm going to cancel this out because I already have it. That's a foam mod. There are many in there that are like that. Many in there. There is an all-in-one patcher named Quinn's. Quasi PC, or Quinn's Unified Automated Self-Installing Patch Compendium. What a name. This will probably be one of the last mods that you install. This will patch all of your patches to make a patch, or several patches, so to speak. It's one file. It's actually pretty small. It's only a little over 6.5 meg. Um, I have mine is in I think I have a patch section, general patches, yep. So everything in purple is what Quinn's detected on my system that I have. So if I go to reinstall this one, this is also in FOMOD format. Okay. This one is nice because this one will auto detect everything that needs patching. For me, it was just these couple. Everything that's, here in purple. Um, Patches for unofficial Skyrim Special Edition patch. I have Cloaks of Skyrim and Wicco, the full version of Wicco, Windsong. For cutting room floor, I am actually, excuse me, not using CRF at all because of Nesbit's Whiterun mod. Whiterun and cutting room floor are incompatible, so I gave up CRF for the nicer looking Whiterun exterior. So just me, but excuse me. Um, so you'll see nothing is highlighted here. There's nothing for me to select. For if you use the mod weapons, armor, clothing, and clutter, again, it'll auto detect why armor and clothing would have an audio overhaul patch. I don't know, but it does. And same thing for Ace, armor and clothing extension patches. This is as a patch for Cloaks of Skyrim. And you'll see over here QW for Quinn's Ace Cloaks of Skyrim patch. You'll see them over here. Lighting mod patches. So if you're using ELE, enhanced lighting and effects for EMB, if you were to run one of these two mods with that, you know, self-explanatory, but it auto detects, so you don't have to actually select anything here. It just kind of does it for you. Patches for Bajin mods, child and elder appearance mods, patches for divine people of Skyrim men only, diversity, Pandorables, realistic faces. Sophia has her own. Huntress Reborn, Ayla, I mean everything. Ordinator and audio overhaul. That's going to be this one here, this one in the middle. So that's a FOMOD. Yeah, the Wabajack installer. Wabajack does have their Discord. Wabajack is confusing at first, and you don't have leeway to pick and choose your mods. Well, I shouldn't say that. You do, but you definitely can't remove anything that they have set up for you. I'm actually part of the Wabajack community here. If you wanted to download the whole Lexi guide, they have support for it. But if you need links to that too, I'll give you links for that. Um, I'm trying to think of what else. Anything else that's needs to do. So yeah, other than doing your master files, and if you need help, like I said, Tanis, you've done so much for our community. If there's anything that I can do, uh, Tim can do, Mr. B, ask us. Just tag. You could, like I said, you could tag me anytime. I tell this to everybody. Unless I'm asleep, it's the only time I won't respond. If you need anything, of course, if it's something I don't know, I'll pass it over to Tim or Mr. B or Rooster if he comes back. Um, there's a lot of other PC players in there. A lot of the members from Couch Warriors or for Character Crusade are PC players, so I'm a part of their server here. Strudel, she's one of their moderators. The Wind. You'll see Baofish, he'll pop up. Um, Loki, you know, for whatever reason, if we run around, any questions you have. The only other thing that I could say is take your time with it. That first build is going to be probably your most frustrating. It should also be your most fun. Hey, anytime, man. No, hey, we love having you. What I wrote on I meant what I said on the Bethesda forums for you've done so much for us, and we're really happy to have you. I always give credit where credit's due, because you know it definitely hasn't been me doing a lot of the Xbox help lately, and that's kind of why I threw that Xbox load order together tonight. You know, crawl, walk, run, exactly, exactly. Just have fun with it. Follow that guide. Like I said, Pred Calibers is sorry, the headsets keep going. That should be the last time for tonight. Um, this is his full guide is the 2018 modded. He was gonna do 2019. I don't even know if it's here. Yeah, it is here, but this is the 100 mods edition. The 2018 modded is the bulk of it. It should be this one. This is probably the one. And then what I like to do is he's on YouTube, so I do this. This is the first time I did this myself, because I'm subscribed to him. Hope there's no porn on here. Playlists. Yeah, so this is probably the one you're seeing. You can see I've already liked it. Right? I just followed along. What I used to do is I would have his guide up here, right? Like my setup on my Chrome is always Discord. Usually if I'm going live, it'll be right here so I could, have it up. Third one is usually Nexus or anything related. Anything that I'm working on goes after it. So what I did my first time was I had his guide up. I was following along here, and he's got the links here. You can open these up. So that takes you right to the unofficial patch. Some of these are invalid. You have to be careful um, with his guide. And I'll show you why here. Noble Skyrim, right? See where it tells you to download, but if you open this link, watch this. Let's see if it does it. I don't think he updated it, right? Not special edition. It's the legendary edition. There's 25 files here. It's a little bit different. The file size is different. The update is different. Okay. So when you see this, um, nexusmods.com, if it's /Skyrim, or if it's got the light blue icon, this is LE. You could change this by going there. This is LE, this is SE. You're going to always want SE mods, unless it is literally just a texture. Because if I type this Noble in again, the file size is going to see there's 24. 2.4 plus you're going to need the update NSM SMIM patch if you're running SMIM, which I do recommend. Definitely do recommend. So yeah, I got off track today. I didn't even watch the whole game. I watched the second. I watched from the halftime show on. I got sidetracked and then I fell asleep in early afternoon. This morning wasn't a good morning for me. I don't know if you. I don't know, I may have told you I suffer panic attacks. So I had a pretty bad one last night into this morning, and it lasted most of the early morning. So I was zonked out. So I didn't get as much accomplished as I would have liked to. But I did get a full console load order set up, and I did stream a little bit of it. Soner got to watch me, and then I forgot that I didn't put cheat room in. And since I don't have a working microphone because you need an official Microsoft one, the headset that I'm wearing now is not compatible. So I'm like, well, that sucks. So I think I just did a setup and I walked around a little bit in the rain. Oh, thank you. When I'm on here, I am surprisingly. I don't know why that is. People have told me that they're like, you sound like you're just laid back, and I'm like, no, I'm sitting here like shaking nervous when I do this. Especially the first time. I didn't really know what to say. Second time it got easy. It just, the more you do it, the easier it gets. Um, his guide is good. His guide will give you a lot of insight. Like T4G's underground, right? You've seen snippets of this in various mods. I'm pretty sure Skeletor uses a lot. His entire underground's a faux mod, 1.1 gigabytes worth, which I do have. I do use it. I love it. It goes in every loadout, even if it gets overwritten by some stuff. Where is it here? Up a little higher, I think. I think. Right here. The yellow bolt, loose files, overwrites, and overwritten. So the plus means that it's overwriting something else. The red minus means that something's overwriting. If you double click right there, it tells you what it's overwriting and what's overwriting it. So in my case, it's, this mod is being overwritten by my text gen, Rudy Nordic Ruins, some 4K textures, but it's also overwriting a lot of static mesh, Noble Skyrim, a lot of Noble, Solstheim landscape overhaul, or static mesh, and his texture. So you could see conflicts right there. Um, or at least, well, I shouldn't say conflicts. You could at least see what's being touched by something else. Um, yeah, T4G. Like, I can't say. You already know a lot of his. You could see 140 photos, right, to make your game look like this. He's a master. T4G is an absolute master. Um, and then this is the Whiterun tower fix. If you don't know what this is, it's a mishmash. It tells you right there. This actually has an ESP file for whatever reason. Right there, the mesh fix, which you do need. Otherwise, your tower will look two-tone. Um, yeah, you could see it. I can see it. You may not be able to see it in the beginning. The first setup that I did, it was pretty much all of John's Skyland mods with Skyrim Flora overhaul, like base stuff like SKSE, SkyUI. I didn't have nearly any of these other core mods, or a lot of user interface stuff. I just relied on SkyUI by itself. So to show you, let me see here. SSIRT. Okay. To give you an example of something I never would have noticed, the skill tree interface has a retexture. And you literally get to pick, the back to this. This is the Irradiant Stars, the vanilla. If you want to pick the colors of the lines and the colors of the perks when you choose them, this is vanilla. Look at that, right? Crazy, right? This all comes in a full mod. You get to pick and choose uh, the, like, I guess the mesh technically, or the design, and then the color, right? Same thing with your for the Vampire Lord. Little things like this just make your game so much better. The user interface stuff. I have a lot of user interface mods in mine, as you can see. I have a quality world map in my left pane only. Well, in my right pane only too. I should have it. It's all the way up top. Ice Penguin World Map Classic, because it doesn't matter with PC. So the hard part I know for and trust me, it was really hard for me. It was hard for me to break out of the console mold of like, well, this has to go here, this has to go here. But the right pane here, this is what's gonna matter. All of this priority list here, this is your load order. This is your mod list. You'll be able to find these. Um, Let me see. In C users, I believe it's here. App data, local. All right, once you click the mod organizer 2 in see this structure here, C users me app data local mo2. You're gonna once you make your profile, it'll be under your profiles. So for my legacy build for my Sacrovamp, my vampire with TPOS2, if I click on this, your mod list txt and your plugins list txt. Your mod list is going to be your left pane, plugins list is going to be your right pane. This is how you've seen us pin them up. Why would one be on one side? Well, because when you download, your downloads are all going to be right here. This is my entire downloads list. Everything that's installed and uninstalled, if I have any. Yeah, I do have some uninstalled mods, but they stay here so that I don't have to go back to the main page and reinstall them. If I wanted to install wearable lanterns, I could double click on this. Always select manual just because you want to set the data directory. This one already looks good. I could just go back there. I don't have to go back to Nexus. I already have it on my downloads tab. This is going to go in order. This is going to go in order too, but there's a couple benefits, and at the same time, they're not benefits. You already have loot built in. So if I want to run loot to see issues, right? You can also use loot to sort your plugins tab. I don't personally do it. I do everything manually by myself, just like I would do if I was on console. But a lot of players don't do that. Now, I'm always going to have one error with my setup. I know exactly what this is, and I know that it's not an actual anything that's going to make me crash. It's a conflict between Immersive Jewelry and the Summer Mist mod by Enei. There's a patch for it, but the patch just doesn't work. And neither of the authors was the ones that made the patch, so it's pretty much irrelevant. You can see I only have 5 dirty plugins out of 251. Some require cleaning. Some are going to show you cleaning. Audio Overhaul Skyrim says it found 6 identical to master records. You can use Quick Auto Clean to clean this mod. Okay, so you would normally think it's giving me this message, I need to clean this mod. Well, I tried cleaning this mod and my game crashed horribly. And then Tim laughed at me and basically said, yeah, don't clean Audio Overhaul. It's not meant to be, but the author never says it. There's a couple other ones. Inigo needs to be cleaned. I'll show you that right now. There's the error. Summer Mist and Immersive Jewelry. The plugins are not compatible, but they work fine. They work perfectly fine. Let's see. Where is he? Inigo has 34 identical to master records. Please don't clean Inigo. Take my word for this, don't clean him. He's okay. So it's things like that. And you'll get used to that the more you see it. You're going to see this. But if there's this little button up here that says sort plugins, well, if I click this, it's going to auto-populate this entire right pane to where Mod Organizer thinks the mod should go. In my case, that's going to throw my entire load order way out the window. And then I'm going to have to go back in manually and
move things up and down to where they need to be. It throws TPOS2 all the way at the top, the full version, where it's absolutely not supposed to be, right? Um, if you're doing, a fairly easy setup, yeah, loot's gonna get it right probably 80% of the time, maybe 85, and I'll be generous with that. Um, but if you're still kind of hardwired like I am, to where you like to manually do things yourself, uh, you can use this to find conflicts, meaning things like here, right here, cloaks. This is cloaks ESP, so this is cloaks of Skyrim. You seem to be using the unofficial patch, but have not enabled a compatibility patch. Quinn's handles this. I do have Quinn's installed, but you're still going to get this message. So I know that I have Quinn's installed. I don't have to worry about this message. You're still going to get it, but you can ignore it. All of Unite's mods are going to give you the modern brawl bug fix. Just tell you that it's included. Some mods are going to need it. Some aren't. Recommended you read this mod's compatibility notes. All of Unite's mods usually say this. Wildcat does. Same thing. They took out the alternate start patch for landscape fixes for grass mod. That's another one you're going to want to check out too. Let me just show you this real quick. Landscape fixes for grass mods has a ton of content. There are 11 files. There used to be 13. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I did the first time too. You could hit sort. There's two ways to really go about it. You could sort plugins here, right? And that'll actually get rid of one of these warnings. So my 6 would become 5. Or right on Mod Organizer 2, you have a nice little sort button. It does the same thing. Sorts all of these in the right pane for you. It also keeps track of all your saves. These are all my game saves right here. My character's name, my level, where I'm at, what save number, everything there. Data, only for certain things. Data you're going to come to rarely. Um, One of them is going to be for For's new idol for Finis. Just to put Finis up here as an executable. It's actually in this data section here. This generate Finis for users. You have to put this executable tab up there. It's pretty easy to do. Just this generate for Finis exe. If you right click, add as executable, it just immediately pops it up here. Other than that, you're really going to be working in the plugins and the downloads when you start. But I like to do things manually. This is why it takes me personally so long to do. I have 430 active mods and 251 active total active plugins. I have 15 masters, 162 ESPs, 74 ESLs, ESP lights, and ESP lights are going to look like this. They actually don't count towards your 255 max, because PC does have a max, but there are obviously ways around that. So, um, I don't know. Have you seen any of my games? Like, have you gone on and checked any of the videos? Because in between doing stuff like this, like I try to get gameplays in, but yeah. Um, I'll do this real quick. I'm not gonna do a play, but I'm gonna load this up real quick. Let me swap over OBS. It's gonna go black for a second. Don't worry about that. I'll show you the difference between E and B. I know you guys have seen pictures, but to see it live is a little bit different. This is why it's taken so like so Rudy takes a little while. Let's see it saying compiling shaders up in the upper left hand corner there. If I wasn't using ENB, I would have been in my game by now. But Rudy's actually pretty easy on the system. Um, as far as I know, it's only been updated for Obsidian weathers. But depending on what you like, Obsidian has a ton of ENB options. Mythical Ages does too. Cathedral Weathers does. Let's see. All right, you guys should be seeing my game in a second here. Yep, and that was all Solar's fault. But it also made my vanilla. I don't have to run a water mod now because of Rudy. It makes vanilla water look like it's modified. So basically everything's changed. Even my cursor's a little dwarven cursor.
We'll drive out the storm cloaks and restore what we
All right.
own.
I have Inigo with me too, so
So
let's go outside and I'll show you a little bit. This is Nesbitt's
the killer of kings. On the day of your death, we will
Delacourt.
Sure. What can I do for you?
Take a break.
Sure. My voice could
Alright.
use a rest.
You could just spend less time
Now
serving
I didn't
them.
go too crazy
Oh, I
on
wish I could
the
afford to pay you both, Nari. I really do.
NPCs. I'm just using Wicco.
Yes.
Wicco by itself. This is with the LFX. This is all Nesbit. Right? You can see the Lancer Replacer. Legacy comes with book covers, Tanis. So enjoy them. The mod book covers is inside of Legacy.
At some point, we should hire Tekla here. If she could just spend less time
There's a
serving
lot
them.
going on.
Ah, I wish I could afford to pay you both, Nari. I really do.
We'll do a cool, quick before and after with the NB, and I'll show you what the water does. Yeah, it should be raining, so. What time of day is it? This is my HUD. This is custom. Tim and I can show you how to get it to look like this, because this is not normal Sky UI. My skills interface. So it looks like that. And then I kept it pretty simple. Oh, hold on. Oh, I didn't select that. Okay, let me. There they are. Celtic and animated. I thought they looked pretty nice. Should be the same with the spells. Active effects, powers, and everything. But it's raining out, so. Let's make it not rain. Kind of a nice day here in Falkreath, right?
Yes.
And if you're curious, these are Wine Dave's Mountains. These are on Legendary Edition, but I'm using them here since they're literally just textures. Renthal's workbench and his tanning rack. And you can see the detail. Little things like this is what really brings out the game. I'm running this at 60 FPS, by the way. And Sonar could attest to that too. He's got his game going at about 60 FPS. The mushrooms. Right? Let's find some water. That's what I'm looking for. Should be some on the other side of the town. This is with the EMB on. So I'll turn it off real quick. This is your base vanilla water. It looks like cellophane. Kind of like crap, you know? But, just EMB by itself. You could run realistic water too, but I didn't feel the need to. It's nice and clear, you know? The flow isn't going to be, you know, 100%, but I'm okay with that, you know? Indigo's going to follow me. It's a spell called Strange Runes. Probably one of my favorite additions. Let's see. And then when you start running things like Dindalod, you'll get your map to look like this with all the little. You could literally see every tree in the game is now on the map, along with. If you'll notice, all right. So we haven't been to Whiterun yet, but if you've seen TPOS 2, you know these are the vampire towers, right? So you'll be able to see everything. Just a, you know, kind of a quick preview. With the MB, without. It's still nice. It just works a lot nicer with. I don't know what Inigo's doing, but anyway, that's yeah. We could always go over EMB another time. But like I said, man, anytime you have any questions, let me know. I just yeah, you have to go. I'm heading to bed myself too, so I will be closing stream down. Any other questions? Like I said, man, just you could tag me, you could DM me, whatever you need. Like I said, if I can't answer it, Tim, Mr. B, there's a couple other people in there that are definitely, you know, been modding longer than I have, and that I'm always gonna point you in the right direction. So, yeah, if you have lots, write them down. Send me all you got. I'll do whatever I can. I feel like, in the year that I've been doing, well, a little less than a year. I haven't been doing this a full year yet, but in the year that I've been doing it, I feel I have it down pretty good. But there's definitely stuff that I know I don't know, and I know if I don't know it, I'll point you to somebody that does. I'm never gonna tell you guys I'm something I'm not. So, but that's it. Get some sleep. I'll talk to you in Discord. Everybody else, enjoy your night, and I will see you later. Have a good one.